Dandavat, dear devotees. So I've been asked by devotees again and again, and we have also explained many times, about the process of serving prasadam. So today we've got the devotees. We're in Ireland, we're in the ashram, beautiful ashram in Limerick, small hearty ashram, where, as in every temple, they have hearty appreciation for prasad. So here the system is that they're putting down the plates and the cups, and if people are using spoons, then the things that are needed. In India, similarly, they have the plate and a simple cup which is laid out, and the first thing will be that devotees will sit in sequence. And in India it's all done on the floor. Here we are in Ireland, done on tables and chairs. But they sit in a row in sequence, starting with the sannyasis, senior sannyasis, younger sannyasis, brahmacharis, senior, younger, etc. And then to the white-clad brahmacharis, the householders. And then this way, step by step by step, there is a sequence. And this is done in the mat. I mean, we lived there for so long. We're trying to share what was done there so that we can at least know the standard that's there. And if we have the opportunity, we'll try to do a similar thing wherever we are in the world. And so the devotees will sit in a line, and they'll have a plate and a cup, and then they generally, at the very beginning, there'll be water. Somebody will come and they'll put water in all the cups, and they'll put a pinch of salt on everyone's plate, in fact. So there'll be plate, cup, and a pinch of salt on everyone's plate with water in the cup. And then the servers start to serve, and they begin. There is a sequence given in a book called Service Life. Service Life, this booklet as PDF is on scasmat.com, the MAT website, since long ago. And there, if you look on books, ebooks, you'll be able to get that book and find probably what I'm about to say too, or what we're describing, plus the order of the foodstuffs on the plate. So basically, prasadam is mercy. It means mercy. And so we are being offered prasadam. We are coming, and please sit down, and please, here, prasadam is for you. Prasadam is not going to the restaurant, I want this, I want this, I want this. No, we're sitting on what is given to us, what is coming from the Lord, and through the devotees, we're receiving mercy. So the servers now come with the bitter preparation first, like chlorella or something else bitter. And these bitter preparations are given first. This is how we, the devotees, do in the mat. And it's actually scientific in one sense, but there's different customs in different parts of India, we know. But in Bengal, we are told that the bitter taken first wakes up all your juices. If you're not already hungry, they're already hungry because I'm talking to you and they're being delayed. So they don't need bitter today. So just consider they've been served the bitter. Okay, but first you start with the bitter, and then you get the rice, dal, the green leafy vegetables, the shark, the sabji, and at the end comes the chutney. The chutney is there to help digestion at the end, and also maybe that wakes up a bit more appetite so you can eat more, just in case they're going to come around and offer you any more. And then at the very end is sweets, so when everything's finished, the sweets. But the practice, the principle of serving, remember that offering prasadam and receiving prasadam are one of only 6 items, like pinpointed, focused by Rupa Goswami in the Upadeshamritam. And so we can think that developing loving relationship amongst devotees, it's important to accept prasadam and to offer prasadam. There are 6 items: to offer gifts, accepting gifts, to offer prasadam, accepting prasadam, we got them in the wrong order, but to reveal one's mind in confidence, and to inquire confidentially. So it's an important matter. So the idea of prasadam is the devotees are with affection coming to offer you a meal of Krishna's remnants. So when the prasadam is being served, here is a server, here are, you can't see them, but here are some hungry devotees, and here is a server. When we offer prasad, whatever we're offering first, what are you giving?
We don't have spitter, but we have bindi instead.
You have bindi, okay, give bindi. So the serving will be in front of the devotees, not over their shoulder or something. So the idea is that you're serving in front. Of course, if we're in lines on the floor, it's going to be in front, but as far as possible, so that you're offering. And you put so that the prasad doesn't touch the plate at the same time as the spoon. So you don't touch the plate with the spoon, or even that you're touching the, so that the spoon, the prasad and the plate don't touch at the same time. So just gentle drop. Of course, not from 1 meter high and splashes everywhere. Okay, reasonable thing. So it's just a gentle drop, and it's to be offered to the devotee. So basically, the first time, then everybody gets the same amount. It's not, do you want more, do you want more? No, everyone's being given the same amount, and so you can serve.
Not for you, is it?
No, serve the devotees. And yes, and we don't serve empty plates. You know, for ghosts there are other ceremonies, but we're serving the devotees. And so, okay, so they're serving the devotee right from the front. The same amount to everybody. It's just a standard amount. And then, yes, so the water would be first, would already be there, or somebody would come around. And then come around with the rice, similarly to like gently drop on the plate, and to offer nicely, rice. But again, the same amount for everybody. It's a standard portion for everybody. It's not the time to say, more and more and more. So, yes, so there we are. By the way, here we've got Vijayananda Prabhu, and he's very DNA qualified for serving, because in India we always learn like wonderful hospitality. And Jadagopal Prabhu, he's working just now, but he was very impressed with the hospitality of our South Indian hosts in Wexford. He said, oh, amazing, how like this? He was telling me. And it is true, they're very accustomed in India that the guest is regarded as good as God. And there are even some places where I said, oh, why do you look morose? Did you not serve a guest properly? Then some reaction is coming. So, okay, anyway, so now, okay, quickly things are happening around me. I better catch up. And now, when there is prasadam on the plate, not when the plate is empty, but when actually, the Lord has given some mercy, devotees chant together, Maha Prasade Govinde Nama Brahmane Vaishnave Svaupa Punya Vatang Rajang Vishvashat Naiva Jayate Sharira Avidya Jam Jadendriya Tahika Jive File Visaya Sagare Dharma Je Jivayati Loba Moy Sudurmati Taka Jitakati Samsare Krishna Bararoy Moy Paribara Jivadoy Swaprasad Anna Dillabai Senamrita Pao Radha Krishna Gunagao Premedako Chaitanya Nitai. And then they take prasad together, and if there is a senior devotee, the guru, the sannyasi, the senior devotees are there, then they will take first. They once they have put like a little bit of eating something, then everybody starts to eat. They say, okay, let's start it. Then we all start. This is the procedure. And so now, please honor your prasadam. So everyone's getting now the essentials first, means rice, dal, sabji, and here we've got the chapati also. So this is a bit of a feast. But now the devotees eat. Please eat. Please honor prasadam. Devotees don't eat. Please honor prasadam. And then while they honor prasadam, and I'm just going to keep chatting away, because I shall also sit down soon. Okay, so devotees are honoring prasadam. Now the servers, they just let everybody carry on. Everyone served. So now devotees taking prasadam, honoring prasadam. And while they're honoring prasadam, in Navadip, different from the West, we have noted, generally they don't chat while taking prasadam. In fact, we've been chastised, for like talking too much while taking prasad. It should be honoring prasad. But I know that in some places the taking prasad together is one of the times of the day when devotees can be together. So it's a bonding time, especially when you've got friends and guests and people you don't see very often. So we're not sitting there, artificially, I'm honoring prasadam, and we're being, individual little monsters or something. We're natural. Naturally we're going to chat a little bit. But anyway, I'm letting you know really how we honor prasad in Navadip. And Chaitanya Saraswati Mat is, of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, is the gold standard for conduct in so many ways of how to lead a devotional life practically. So, devotees are taking prasad, and so I'm just going to give the theory now because they're relaxing, taking nicely, there's no rush, but they're taking prasad, and then as the server, they'll be just somewhere chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours a day, and at the same time just keeping an eye. And when they see that, for instance, somebody's sabji is going down, or in general, the plates are, when they see that generally the plates are going down, so they're already, okay, they're taking the sabji and it's almost down, the dal is almost down. The servers, first of all, they know what are the quantities that they have, so they know what they can offer. You can't offer what you don't have. I mean, that's simple scientific physical theory, isn't it? But you can't offer what you don't have. So they know what is here. So mostly there will be more things to offer. So when the rice, like here, the one item is down, drop it, don't go too close, yeah. When one item is going down, you offer it. You offer to the devotee to add to the plate, and this way you can either do here happening individual, that's fine, or in general you'll see that probably everything is going down at a similar rate, and then you see that they'll come and offer more rice. But with offering means you've got it, you got the spoon, and you're ready to give it. If the devotee doesn't want more rice or more sabji, or as we're going through, they cover the plate. They'll say, they know, I'm fine, thank you. They don't have to go to a whole explanation, but no. And then this way, but offering means if you offer, you're going to give it. Oh, no, thank you. And anyway, the servers know what they've got and what they can offer. So if your sabji's gone down and you really do, you'd like some more sabji, but if they're not offered it, then it's not the custom to call and say, I want more sabji, I want this. Prasadam is not what I want, it's what is being given to us. Don't be afraid. The Vaishnavas are very generous with their servings. You're unlikely to leave the table hungry. So this way, the prasadam servers, they will come around and satisfy the devotees by offering prasadam when they see it dropping down on the plate. Now, there is an etiquette verse, and Haricharan Prabhu, senior devotee, who joined with Guru Maharaj about the same time as Srila Gurudev, a long time in the mat, and has so much experience. He told me a verse one day. I'm unable to tell it to you, I'm very sorry, in Bengali, but I am able to say the meaning, because that's me saying, yes, what does it mean? And Haricharan Prabhu explained that the system of serving, which is more or less what we're saying, but so the servers, they give their equal amount basically to everybody. They come around, they give everything, everyone's got their plate. Then the servers can come around and they can offer again more. And they offer to you, and if you politely say, if you don't say anything, like they come with the thing, then they may or may not put on your plate. If they see, oh, you've got plenty of rice, then they may not put on the rice. If they see less, they put it. If you don't say anything and you don't make any reaction, then yes, you're accepting it. So if you don't say anything, you may or may not get more rice. If you've got plenty of rice, they may not give their mercy at that time and give you more rice. If you say, oh no, if you just say no, they will put it on your plate because you're saying no because it's your duty to say no. I'm not wanting, but you're giving. Then, no. I mean, it's just like a subtle, polite way of saying yes. So the devotee actually gives. So if you say no, the devotee gives. If you don't say anything, they may or may not give. But if you say, I want, they don't give. So this is the thing, that we are not, prasadam is not an I want matter. We are coming for the affectionate descending grace of what's given to us. And so then the devotee, the servers can come again and again according to their discretion to fill up plates. And presumably at some point, so how do you really not get prasadam on your plate? I missed that part out of the last line of that quotation from Haricharan Prabhu. And that is, but if you say no, they will give you, okay? But if, and the description was like the tiger's claws, if you, with your hands like tiger's claws, say no, like this, strongly, then they won't give. In other words, yes, that's going to be imposing to give more. So, no, if we do like this, then they won't give. And so, in which case, of course, servers not to put like sabji on the top of people's hands when they've covered their plate. Anyhow, this principle. And then when everyone's got what they need, at the very end comes the sweets. And then the sweets come and distributed around. And generally, they're not coming with more sweets, but that's the grace of the servers. But again, if you're sitting, I want more, you're not going to get it. Sorry, cancelled. So this is some of the principle of serving prasadam. And in the practical Western world, when we see devotees are sitting at tables, at least not to just come by surprise from behind with a spoon and put it on the plate. Try to always, it's an offering. If you're going to offer something, you don't have to ask, do you want? Because actually the answer is no. We're not wanting, we're only here for grace. So if you just stand there, what do you want? It's not actually the correct way. But we know it's affection and politeness, we see it, but this is not the actual way that we'll be serving prasadam. So here we are, just a few tips, and we want, oh my goodness, we want to be in the receiving grace department and not in the me, myself, I, and I want department. And as I said before, the devotees are very generous in every way, so don't think that you're going to become a skinny brahmachari. Brahmacharis seem to manage to eat more than anybody else. Don't think you're going to become thin by being at the mercy of the Vaishnavas. You may have the opposite challenge. Okay, I don't know what else. Well, I think everybody knows you take prasad with your right hand, not your left hand. Even chapatis, as we see here. Chapatis being torn, take a bit off with your right hand. And any other prasadam topics? Can I hear any questions? Any question that I haven't covered from anybody?
And Maharaj, like servers, can they serve for themselves? I know switching.
Okay, no, good point. So prasadam is always offered. So the server waits until everyone's satisfied. And remember, just remember, yes, that will do. Remember Krishna. But so the server waits till everyone's satisfied. At the end, then the server will be served by somebody who's had prasadam. This is the principle. And actually, at no time does anybody go with their own plate and go and look and see what's there, and I'll have some of this, some of this. That's not there. So even the server also, his service has been serving, but then the reciprocation of affection between devotees is offering prasadam as well as receiving prasad. So the devotees are always grateful to receive prasad, so maybe all of them can come and serve the server to show their gratitude, so he's not going to be left out. And also another thing with practical service of prasadam, the server knows how many more people are coming. There's a group who've phoned, they're distributing books, or they're working in the field, they're going to be late, so unavoidably, or because another point is, devotees should take prasadam together. If you just roll up later, no, that's not prasadam time, that's the time of the mercy. But if, of course, somebody is doing seva somewhere, the server will be informed. We have 4 people there coming at 2 p.m. They can't be here in time. Please keep prasad. They know that prasadam needs to be kept. So this way, also, if devotees are asking, I want more, I want more, I want more, the server is kind of obliged, and he doesn't, he's not happy to say no, but he only has a limited amount. Or, he knows if there is more or not. And we've seen unfortunate things where, some devotees really have to give up their prasad because somebody, really wants to have more and more of something. So that we'd want to avoid. So the server knows what he can give. So he's only going to offer what's there. So it's not a question of when the server's offering, then we say, well, if you have enough, I can take it. He won't be offering it if he doesn't have it to offer, if you try to follow that point. So everything is coming to, the server has some eye on what quantity is there and what may be necessary to keep for later. And I'm just thinking now, because we're making this video, and it's not just this one time we're asked to say this, and we've explained these things. Some of you say, I've heard all this before from him. Yeah, you maybe have, but I'm trying to think what other things. Other things, like in Navadip, we have cows in Navadip. Cows give milk, but maybe they're Surabhi cows, but in practical sense, they give a limited amount of milk, so we've had, as an example of this, in the evening time, then the milk comes around. So the milk comes around in the cups, as devotees, usually towards the end of when they're having in the evenings, usually simply chapati and sabji, or French fries. Aloo bhaja, fried chips, whatever we want to say. French fries would be what the British would say, not the French. And French fries, sabji and chapati. And as it's going on, then the milk is served into, there they have these, or had these, clay pots. So everyone gets the same amount of milk. And one thing about the milk from the cows in Navadip is almost everyone said, oh, amazing, I never drank milk like this before. So, really it is, it's natural, sweet, it's wonderful milk from the cows. But then, you see, if then, we've seen this, that devotees start to come, think, oh, such good milk, and they bring a big lota, their own big lota, and then the server's coming, and the question has come in Navadip, why do they serve the milk with a serving spoon, a ladle? It's because everyone's getting the same amount. And then you get somebody coming with a big cup, and they're giving the same amount in the big cup. But then we've seen, and we feel very sad, and then they're asking us, oh, please, fill it up. And the server, sometimes is feeling awkward because he knows there's only a certain amount of milk. And actually when that happens, the cows have only given a certain amount of milk. The server knows how much he can give. And just like we are serving rice, dal and sabji, if there's more milk after going giving the same portion to everybody, he can come and offer more milk in the same way as everything else. But then we would have sometimes devotees come with a big cup and say, oh, fill it up, fill it up. And then the servers kind of feel obliged or to put a little extra and then sort of say enough. But it means somebody else is not getting milk. Or then what happens after, more water gets put in, and so they're getting homeopathic milk or something like this. But you have to understand the reality of, and the fairness of this procedure of offering. And it's, again, not going hungry, but the I want element we want to cut out of our whole life. And especially prasadam is mercy. So perhaps I spoke too long, but there are a few things.
Beautiful.
Any question that obviously I have missed, because we are jiva souls subject to illusion, error, and missing things.
Well, ideally, we should serve when we have devotional clothes, be clean, and all this is ideal.
Perfect. So this is a very good point. In Navadip Chaitanya Sarasat Mat, you cannot come to take prasadam wearing jeans and t-shirt, wearing a gamcha, where you think, oh, gamcha is Indian. I'm in India, I can wear a gamcha. No, you come to with your devotional clothes. And how good is your tilak, everything in the middle of the day? That may be another thing, but we should be coming to honor prasadam. So just like when you come to the temple, you don't come to the temple wearing jeans and t-shirt, sorry, not in Navadip. And so again, this is the gold standard. You'll come presentable and clean. And you wash your hands before you take prasadam, like this. And after prasad, also, we come to the West and we see it's very common not to wash your hands or your mouth after eating. But it seems when we come from India and come from the mat, it seems a little unnatural not to wash your hands and mouth afterwards. So I point it out because, they're just different customs of the world. And here we're trying to share, as Gurudev and Guru Maharaj gave us our standard in Navadip. And if you want to add a little more about the prasadam, Gurudev, very happily tells the story of when Guru Maharaj is watching them taking prasadam and they're being served prasadam, and in the dal there are insects, cooked insects, of course. And then Gurudev was hesitant to take the dal, and he saw Guru Maharaj looking at him, and Guru Maharaj just recently had said to him, "Can you follow me and not your mind?" And Gurudev said, "Yes, Guru Maharaj, I can do that." And anyway, that point came in. Guru Maharaj, this is his mercy. This is all coming from him. He's got insects in. My mind says, I'm not going to take that. But there's Guru Maharaj, and he said, Guru Maharaj transmitted by his glance that message. Then I took prasadam happily. So we are not to make complaint about anything, what kind of bugs are in our dal or anything. If it's coming to us from the proper source, prasadam, we'll give our respect. So yes, clothing, proper clothing. And getting up at the end. So we heard how when we begin, everyone seats together, prasadam is taken together. And then the senior, everyone is given from senior all the way around, given their service, etc., given their portions, etc. At the end, everybody finishes prasadam. They finish, and all waiting. And then when everyone's finished, then you get up and go to wash your hands and mouth. And certainly, if the senior section, if in the sannyasis and the senior section that are there, if they are still eating, then we are down here somewhere, certainly you will wait for them. Maybe they won't always wait for you, but we will wait for them. So in general, anyhow, the prasadam, everybody finishes together and then gets up. And in Navadip, you take your own plate, and often when it's the leaf plate, you fold it into a little cone and put it into the clay cup so that any dripping goes into the cup and you don't make a big mess. And then take that, throw it into the throwing place, It's all organic, don't worry. The original organic society. And then you wash your hands and you wash your mouth. Okay, so that's a good addition. Any other point that I missed? Yes, something.
Sometimes I have noticed if the server has gone from the serving seva, then somebody wants something. And they get that from the table and go and serve themselves without washing their hands and mouth.
Okay, well, definitely that's a no. I mean, you never. And also, when you're seated and taking prasadam, basically you don't get up and start doing all sorts of things. No. But especially you don't get up to serve yourself. I want some more, I'm going to go and get. No. I mean, that principle we've covered, that we're receiving mercy, we're not going to choose for ourselves. We can choose for ourselves. There are unlimited millions of restaurants where you can choose for yourself, but prasadam is for receiving mercy. And so if the server is gone and you want something, well, even if the server is there and you want something, then that's, how are you going to express it? Of course, Gurudev had a very sweet way of expressing it. He'd be sitting with sannyasi or somebody say, "Oh Maharaj, would you like some more sabji?" And then in his manner, then coca, whoever's serving, more sabji for Maharaj. And then, unless the coca is a little unconscious, he's naturally going to offer Gurudev some sabji too. So there's a little loophole in the system. But definitely not to get up and ask. And you see, Gurudev is not asking. By this method, he would be gently asking. And, another thing. For instance, so to give at the time it's needed. So clearly, someone has a whole plate of rice and sabji, the plate is full of sabji. You don't immediately come, "Do you want some more sabji?" They haven't gone through this sabji yet. Am I meant to look into the future? Will I want more sabji when I'm finished? No, the right time. And with chapatis, in the evening, but also in the day, on festival occasions, today we had chapatis, it's a festival. So with chapatis, for instance, the ideal service of chapatis is the person is finishing eating the chapati and sabji and almost finished the chapati. Almost, not finished. Then at that time, a hot chapati comes and is offered to that person. This is the best way. Like they almost finished the chapati. Here is a fresh hot chapati for you. So to see the need, not when he's got 4 chapatis and you come around asking him if he wants another chapati, but the ideal for chapatis, because they have this particular nature, when they're fresh, that's the best, that's when to be offered. So, for instance, it's just be conscious of the devotees and their needs, and what you have. If you don't have more chapatis, you can't offer them, naturally. But when you have the chapatis, then you're coming, and it's good to have a little chapati factory running if you've got a row of sannyasis or something, because sannyasis can really appreciate having chapatis fresh from the fire. So, this way, it's beautiful to serve the devotees. And I mean, really, we are so happy our life has been trying to serve the devotees. And this is one of the beautiful interactions, is serving the devotees. And it's beautiful to receive prasadam when it's offered like this. It's very sweet. And we do really want to get rid of our I want department. And, another thing is, in the modern age, I don't know when it started, but it's a reality, we know it, that people are not immune. What's the word when you get a reaction for eating gluten?
Tolerant.
Or intolerant. We're meant to be tolerant, okay, but tolerant, physically intolerant to some things like gluten or peanuts or something. Tell the server, before that also, naturally, whoever's organizing, they will tell the cooks, but make your intolerance, your particular food that you can't, make it known. We have devotees who literally end up in the hospital if they will take gluten, even a little bit of gluten. So we must serve appropriately. And I never heard of so many things for many decades of my life. But then now gradually we find, no, really there are many who will get hospitalized if they take this or this. So be realistic and in how we, in what we can receive as mercy. It's not so merciful to end up in the hospital. Prasad means mercy. So that's something to let the servers or the cooks or whoever's looking after everything previously, let whoever, when you come to an ashram or a temple, just quietly let whoever's looking after, by the way, I'm gluten intolerant. Just to let you know, if you can take that into account, I'll be grateful. So that they know, because they want to serve. They want to give what is appropriate. So that's another sidebar on the message. And okay, if there is something else, when I was asked to make this, I thought it was going to be like 4 minutes, explain it all, then I'll sit down and maybe somebody will be merciful to me with prasadam, but I know this has gone to at least 5 minutes, so we better stop sometime soon. If there's more that comes up, either from whoever may see this, because I've been asked to make this so that devotees can look and see, and you have questions, then we'll add a part B or put something in writing to add to it. And we've got several devotees here, and Saraswati is taking this to London. We were going to make this in London, but we all kept each other quite busy in London, and we didn't really have the opportunity. We've come to Ireland, which is very gentle, and the devotees have given us time, even 5 minutes, to make this video. We are grateful. Vanchakalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya cha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And we are, of course, with our head to the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakok Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj, and all of our guides and guardians, but especially them who've shown us how to live a normal life, a life of a civilized person. And this is civilized Vaishnava life of receiving prasadam, distributing prasadam, etc. This is one of the 24-hour-a-day aspects of devotional life. They've shown wonderful life. They had a wonderful oasis for everyone to practice this life. Wherever you are, draw some of that nectar water from that oasis and make your own home, your own environment of a similar sweet nature. Jai to Srila Gurudev ki jai, to Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, to Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, and all our Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari. So, dear devotees, our video, which we thought was going to be very short about how to distribute prasadam, did become a little longer than expected. But we were with the devotees, as you saw, and they were honoring prasad, and they were then being served as we were describing, and various points came up amongst the devotees that we didn't include. So, here's a little bit extra. We'll try not to take too long to mention these. I've got a pen. Well, I had a pen. Got paper, so I've got some notes, and so we'll just try to cover these, and then hopefully this will be the main points about serving prasadam. So the mood of service, this I was recommended to stress, and I also feel, we all feel it. The mood of service, it should be affectionate service to the devotees. And so if somebody is in a bad mood, they've had a row and they're angry or something, please don't have them serve prasad or going around and plonking it on people's plates and things. It's a little bit obvious, but there we are. It, I suppose, needs to be said. And, the first portions, because, after we discussed this, devotees have been following the procedure, but the first portions that are given, like we mentioned, give a simple portion to everybody first. Those should be small, rather than, large. They should be smaller, because remember, you can come around again and again. But especially for the children. And children also, the parents have been here, and the parents, they say, but the children, they ask, give me more, give me more. But we saw that, and we see, and those with experience see, children often ask, oh, give me more, but then they don't eat it, and it's wasted. So a basic principle is prasadam should not be wasted, should not be left on the plate. And even we go to restaurants, and there's some famous Buddhist restaurants we've been to which are pure vegetarian. You pay one amount and then you can eat all you like, but one rule, you don't leave anything. So you don't leave anything behind. So this way, as we are serving, we want to make sure that nothing will be left behind, that devotees are not like asking for something, or we're giving something more than they can take. So especially for children, give small amounts first. And they may say, oh, give me more, give me more, give me more. Yes, you can have more when that's finished, and then this way, and then this way top it up, just like with the adults, but with smaller portions. So be conscious about children, not just to put the same amount or as for the adults, and not just to give them because they're asking, give me more. So this point came up when serving sweets, which come at the end, then don't put the sweets in a dirty part of the plate. Milk sweets or milk should not be mixed with salt, so try to find a clean part of the plate, or put the sweets in a separate little container, cup, paper plate, something like that. So put them in a clean part. And oh yes, not to distribute prasadam from the Lord's cooking pots, or not also to distribute mahaprasadam that's come from the altar from the Lord's offering pots. So the cooking pot prasadam, the cooking pot items, need to be put into a transfer bowl, a transfer container, so that that's being used for going around the room, and not the original cooking pot. And also, you can walk around with a smaller container for distributing the prasad, rather than a big bucket of rice and a big bucket of dal, so that then you've got something which is manageable for distributing to the devotees. And Srila Gurudev is told about Mahaprasad. He said that everything becomes Mahaprasad, not only what is coming from the Lord's plate. And so what is coming from the Lord's plate can simply be put back into its original, the dal cup. Just empty it back into the dal. The rice, empty it back into the rice, etc. And then to wash the deities' dishes, etc. So those points are there. And yes, so about the mood of the devotees, we've seen, and Gurudev has arranged this, in festivals, sometimes the prasadam will be late and the servers may be very late before they get their prasad. So we've seen that Gurudev, sometimes, not always, but in certain cases, he arranges for the servers to take prasadam first. While the arti and all these things are going on, then they are taking. Why? So that they will be not like hungry and hankering, and they'll be put into much difficulty. But they're serving so many plates, they're going to be there a long time doing hard seva, so they'll take prasadam first, they'll be peaceful, and they'll be very happy then to continue the service to others without themselves being in anxiety. It may be an exception, but the principle is there. All right, and I've got my cheat sheet because we did write them down. We're trying to cover the points. And, oh yes, when serving, and I thought this might be kind of natural, but where you don't put one item on the top of another when you're serving on the plate. You serve so that it's beside the others. Otherwise, may as well just have made khichdi, right? Because khichdi is very good. You can mix it all together in the pot. But they're all separate preparations, so not to plonk on the top of other items. Of course, exception, the dal, maybe the rice, you make a little pond in the middle, empty pond, and then they fill it up with dal, pour the dal. That's an exception. But in general, you don't go putting the chutney on, the chutney on top of the sabji on top of the aloo bhaja and things like this. So serve things separately, considerately. Oh yes, don't stand at the table and ask, do you want something? Do you want something? No, it's offering procedure. And we should not be wanting anything except mercy. And so prasadam is mercy. So the whole principle is that the servers, they are coming distributing items. And so not, you see everyone saying that, do you want, what do you want, what do you want? And at least if you really feel like, okay, I think everyone's satisfied, but maybe they want something that we haven't come to them with, then at least ask, what would you like? Something polite. This want word, I think Prahlad Maharaj would be very happy if we cancel that from the dictionary. I, me, mine, want, all these things like that. So again, really with the serving of prasad, it's not an I want item. But if you do need to ask, at least say, would you like something? And we've seen here, sometimes somebody's at a distant part of the table, a little difficult to reach. Would you like? It's much more than, yes, I like, okay. But want? No, I don't want. But if you're offering, I may like. Thank you. All right. And to mention, the chutney is the last in the serving order before the sweets. This is Bengal style. We're talking about Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, and chutney is not a large amount, it's a small amount. And it's generally very sweet and very hot. And it's there for digestion at the end of the main meal. And then the sweet will come after that. So the bitter at the beginning, the chutney at the end. So there is an order of service. And we did mention in the main video that there is a book, Service Life, on the Mat's website. And there is some order, what order is best to serve prasadam. So you could refer to that. And, oh yes, Srila Gurudev. The policy of Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj at the mat was, at festivals, so many people come, the public come, etc. And yes, we serve them nicely and we come back and serve more as much as is available to serve. But not that they fill up their own tiffins, their own containers and go home with them. It's for those who come. They come to the temple. They somehow, even a little bit, they'll get some harikatha, some sadhu sangha and prasadam. And not that they ask, oh, give me, I can come with containers and say, give me in this container, this container. But still, Gurudev was gently amused when we see quite obviously, even though they think it's not, so many of the ladies, and sometimes very old ladies looking very innocent, under their sari, they have a tiffin. And then when no one's looking, they're putting in the tiffin and then looking very hungry. Oh, I finished it. And they're happily taking more. So there's always some happy kind of interaction taking place in stealing prasadam in the proper mood. So anyway, this principle that Srila Gurudev had. And, okay, from a devotee's aspect, if we find that the devotees are so generous and they just can't not put a lot on our plate, and sometimes it does happen that we go to places and the devotees really don't know this system of serving, and so they make plates and they give you a plate of prasadam. If it is too much, and you clearly, oh, this is way too much, and then this is my experience. The simplest way to be able to manage this without any disturbance is just ask for an empty, clean plate. And before you take, just edit your plate down to small portions of each item. And also you can say, and then just give the plate back, say, oh, this is all clean. And then they say, oh, it's so small. Yes, but maybe If you offer it, I can take more later, but this, I know, this is manageable for me. This way we're not leaving items on the plate, and we're not also forcing ourselves to eat, which is really not honoring prasadam. It becomes another kind of difficulty. So devotees shouldn't be stuffing themselves. And by the way, also this principle about honoring prasadam, controlling the tongue, controlling the stomach, these two things which are very important in our life, then yes, in the beginning the devotees are encouraged to take so much prasadam, but then there is a medium point. Once devotees have left the mundane world and they've come and they're now we're getting prasadam, we know we're cared for, not just to take so much more than is necessary. And this is controlling of the stomach. The stomach is full, but yet we want to eat more. So we need to honor prasad and try to at the same time understand that we should be controlling our speech, presently our tongue for taste and our stomach for volume. That it is not that forever we're going to, like we were when we were first invited by the devotees to join the temple and we had these huge breakfasts, huge lunches. That's not forever, sorry devotees. We should voluntarily come to the position where we say, yes, I take what's necessary and not extra. All right. And, oh yes, about children, and is basically no spices, or check with mum or dad who's there about what's suitable for them to eat. If you put on the plate the sabji and is full of spices, they may not take it, and not only children, but grown-ups as well. So the server should know approximately what he's serving. Is it spicy? He should know, yes, no. And and maybe about sensitive things. Does it have peanuts in? Does it have gluten in? Things like this, which is necessary to know sometimes. And again, before serving, then in general, the manager who is looking after, they will make sure, they will have already asked, is anybody allergic to this or that? But be conscious about spices and things. And the other thing is, you see, a prasadam should be honored, and if we give a member of the public or something some prasadam and they say, well, I don't like this, oh, that's very sad for devotees to hear. So we want to put suitable prasad according to time, place and circumstance, and that applies to health also. As Gurudev says, we need to take suitable prasadam for our health condition. So again, very practical tips, but that we should keep in mind. So consideration. And yes, a suggestion is that guests come, people come, and unexpectedly sometimes we don't know who's coming. So it's good to have a preparation which is without milk, without peanuts, without gluten, without whatever else it is which may disturb some people, so that there's at least one preparation and rice, or one preparation and something, that a guest will come. They will get prasadam which is suitable for them, rather than say, oh, sorry, we've got nothing to give you, here's a glass of water. So this suggestion came up too, as by experience. Okay? Looking at my list, so we don't have a part 3, but actually we do want that this will just be added to the first one, and I know you already put out the first one before we completed it. So this will probably be a part 2 for those who saw the first one, but please do have a complete one in one place. And don't serve from the cooking pot. We've been through this. Arriving devotees should be offered prasadam. Sweet hospitality, Vaishnava hospitality from Gurudev and from Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj is, if devotees arrive, for instance, to the mat at 3 p.m, it's not lunch, it's not dinner, but the chances are they've been traveling a long while. They may not have had lunch, but they may not have had breakfast and lunch. Who knows? But they should be offered prasadam and accommodation. I mean, this I'm saying about Navadip Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. The two things, accommodation and prasadam, or even prasadam and accommodation. And I know if devotees come, when they come up to Gurudev, like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something, and they'd arrived, and they're very enthusiastic, and we're saying, please, put your things in your room and come and have prasadam. No, I want to go and see Gurudev first, like this. And then they come to Gurudev, and then they meet him, give him a donation, sign in sort of thing, and very happy. And then Gurudev will say, have you taken prasadam? And then they say no. Then Gurudev is looking over to me and saying more or less like, why haven't they taken prasadam? To give them, Gurudev, I offered prasadam. They want to come to you first. Okay, that's a good reason. Okay, but in general, when devotees come, we should follow that sweet hospitality of Gurudev. A place for them to put their bags, to know where they've got their home, as it were, and prasadam. So anytime, it's not lunchtime, it's not dinner time, no problem, but something. So even a glass of water, fruit, but if there is prasadam, something available, then it is good hospitality. And especially if you know that you're going to have a family or something coming, be ready. They may have eaten, that's okay, but let them have that opportunity to offer them some prasadam. It is sweet hospitality, and we've seen so much also sweet hospitality of offering a glass of water and sweets wherever we go. When we do the collection programs and going house to house in the villages, there's always this kind of etiquette of giving something for the guests who come. All right. Well, there are one or two other things, but that's it. Because the other points, one or two of them, are more about honoring prasadam. The mood, well, which we can also say, the mood of honoring prasadam is that we should think how the Lord has tasted it. And we are tasting that prasadam. And honoring prasadam, in general, the custom is to use your hands, not a spoon. And we even had a devotee in Navadip. He went to the doctor, he wasn't feeling well, this and the other. The first question the doctor asked him, he heard his symptoms, and then he said, are you using a spoon? I mean, are you using your fingers or some instrument, some utensil to eat? He said, no, I'm using a spoon. That's your problem. So don't ask me how, but there are those who consider that even health-wise you should use. Anyway, I'm just mentioning about Navadip and about living in India and using your right hand. I mean, this, that and the other. But I think that's another department really, is about the honoring of prasad. But still, it's related to the distribution of prasad, because the distribution of prasadam and the honoring of prasadam is so much interrelated. Like we said, honoring prasad doesn't mean we're going to try to stuff ourselves as full as possible, and that we feel forced to eat everything that's on the plate when somebody served more than we can handle. Okay, this is the addition, dear devotees. It's really not like a hard rules and regulation thing, but it's the essence of developing loving relationship between the devotees. So I hope this has been helpful, and here I am as a service, as the servant of all of the devotees, and we try to do our best in such a way. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokha Kridha Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. And Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. All of our predecessor acharyas ki Jai. All our present day and continuing Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. And all the unlimited devotees ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.